Could a single creamy green fruit hold the secret to living longer, staying sharper, and keeping your heart stronger well into your 80s? Hello, I'm Dr. Morrison, and today I'll share a story that could change the way seniors think about their health. Before we dive in, a quick but important reminder. This video is for educational purposes only. Always consult your doctor before making any changes to your diet or lifestyle. Now let me take you back a few years to a story that stuck with me. I had a patient named Barbara, a 72-year-old grandmother from Ohio. She came to see me because she was tired all the time. She told me, "Dr. Morrison, I just don't have the energy to keep up with my grandkids anymore." She wasn't sick. Her blood pressure was decent, her cholesterol was borderline but manageable, and her blood sugar was only slightly elevated. But something was missing. During our conversation, she laughed and said, "My daughter keeps telling me to eat more avocados, but I think that's just a trendy millennial thing." That moment caught my attention. Why? Because research has shown that what Barbara dismissed as a trendy fruit could in fact be one of the most powerful foods for senior health. So I asked her to try a small experiment. Add half an avocado to her meals a few times a week. That's it. No drastic changes, no complicated meal plans. What happened over the next 3 months completely surprised her. Her energy improved, her digestion felt smoother, and during our follow-up, her cholesterol profile had shifted in the right direction. She smiled and said, "I feel like I got a little bit of my old self back." Now, you might be wondering, what is it about this fruit that could make such a difference? And is it really a longevity secret or just another health fad? That's exactly what we'll uncover in this video. Over the next hour, I'll guide you through the science behind avocados, why their healthy fats, fiber, and nutrients make them unique for senior wellness, the hidden benefits for your heart, brain, joints, and even your eyes, the risks and myths, including whether avocados are too high in fat or calories for seniors, and most importantly, how to use them wisely, without overdoing it, to truly support healthy aging, mobility, and independence. I promise, by the end of this journey, you'll never look at avocados the same way again. But before we dive into the science, let me ask you something. What if one simple change in your diet could help you stay out of the hospital, keep your independence, and even extend your lifespan? Wouldn't you at least want to know the truth? Let's find out together. Now let me share another story. A few years ago, I met Frank, a 68-year-old retired teacher from Florida. Frank had been struggling with joint stiffness, especially in the mornings. He told me, "Doc, I feel like my body is rusting every time I get out of bed." He was worried about losing mobility because he loved golfing with his buddies and didn't want to give it up. When I reviewed his diet, it was the usual American fare: toast, bacon, processed snacks here and there, and plenty of coffee. Not terrible, but not ideal for joint health. So I asked him a question. "Frank, do you ever eat avocados?" He laughed and said, "Only when my wife orders guacamole at the Mexican place." I suggested he start incorporating avocados into his breakfasts. Instead of processed spreads, I told him to mash half an avocado on whole grain toast, maybe sprinkle a pinch of black pepper, and add a sliced tomato. Within weeks, he noticed something subtle but powerful: less morning stiffness, smoother digestion, and even improved focus when reading his morning newspaper. When he came back for a checkup, he leaned in and whispered, "Doc, I think that green stuff is actually working." That's when it hit me again. Sometimes the simplest changes bring the most meaningful results. But this isn't just about individual patients. To really understand the power of avocados, we need to look at their history. Avocados are not a new health fad. In fact, they've been nourishing humans for thousands of years. Long before they made their way into American supermarkets, the ancient Aztecs and Mayans called them the food of the gods. They prized them for energy, fertility, and strength. Imagine warriors carrying avocados before heading into battle, believing it gave them endurance. Fast forward to today, avocados are grown widely in Mexico, California, and parts of Florida. What was once a sacred fruit in ancient civilizations is now part of our modern kitchens. But here's the question: is it just a tasty fruit? Or does it truly carry health secrets that could impact how long and how well we live, especially as seniors? Think about this. For someone in their 50s or 60s, avocados can help balance cholesterol and protect the heart during a stage of life when cardiovascular risk begins to rise. For those in their 70s and beyond, the healthy fats may support brain function, mobility, and even vision, helping to preserve independence. It's fascinating, isn't it? A fruit eaten by warriors centuries ago may hold the key to helping seniors today fight their biggest health battles: heart disease, cognitive decline, and loss of mobility. But before you rush out and buy a dozen avocados, there's something you need to know. Are avocados truly the miracle food some claim, or is there a hidden downside? Too much fat? Too many calories? Could they actually cause harm if you're not careful? Now let us roll up our sleeves and really look at what's inside this so-called longevity fruit. I often tell my patients, don't just eat food, understand your food. When you know what each bite is doing for your body, you begin to see your meals as medicine. And when it comes to avocados, the science is both fascinating and powerful. The first thing people ask me is, "Doc, aren't avocados too fatty? I thought fat was bad for the heart." Here's the truth. Not all fats are created equal. Avocados are rich in monounsaturated fats, the same heart-healthy fats found in olive oil. These fats don't clog your arteries. In fact, they help reduce LDL cholesterol, the bad cholesterol, and boost HDL cholesterol, the good one. For seniors, that's huge. Why? Because cardiovascular disease remains the #1 killer in the United States. Every small step that lowers artery inflammation and improves circulation can mean more birthdays, more time with grandkids, and more independence. So instead of fearing the fat in avocados, think of it as a natural shield for your heart. Now here's something most people don't realize. One medium avocado contains about 10 grams of fiber. That's more than many breakfast cereals marketed as high fiber. Fiber is crucial for keeping digestion smooth and regular, something many seniors quietly struggle with, feeding the good bacteria in your gut, which supports immunity and even mood, helping regulate blood sugar, which is especially important for those managing diabetes or pre-diabetes. Think about it this way. Every time you eat an avocado, you are not just fueling yourself, you are also fueling trillions of microscopic helpers in your intestines that keep your body running smoothly. Here's another hidden gem. Avocados are packed with potassium. In fact, ounce for ounce, they contain more potassium than bananas. Why does that matter? Because potassium is like a pressure regulator for your body. It balances out sodium and helps relax blood vessels, lowering the risk of high blood pressure. And as I tell my patients in their 60s and 70s, your blood pressure is like the plumbing in your house. If it's too high, eventually something's going to burst. Avocados provide a natural, delicious way to keep that plumbing under control. But the list doesn't stop there. Avocados are loaded with vitamin E, vitamin C, B vitamins, and powerful antioxidants like lutein and zeaxanthin. For the brain, vitamin E helps protect neurons from oxidative stress, potentially lowering the risk of cognitive decline. For the eyes, lutein and zeaxanthin are the same compounds found in leafy greens, and they're known to protect against age-related macular degeneration, a leading cause of blindness in seniors. For the skin, vitamin C and E work together to maintain elasticity, which is why some people jokingly call avocados nature's moisturizer. So when you're slicing into that green flesh, remember, You're not just eating a fruit. You're arming your body with compounds that fight aging at the cellular level. But let's not ignore the calories. Now, I have to be fair. Avocados aren't magic. They're calorie-dense. A whole avocado has about 240 calories. For active adults, that's fine. But if you're mostly sedentary, eating 3 or 4 a day could add up quickly. This is why balance matters. 1 avocado a day, or even half, can deliver incredible benefits without tipping the scale in the wrong direction. So let's pause here and ask, could this humble fruit truly extend not just lifespan, but health span? In the next section, we'll dive into the problems seniors face: heart disease, memory decline, brittle bones, and see exactly how avocados fit into the solution puzzle. Because as I'll show you, this isn't just about nutrition, it's about prevention, protection, and potentially adding more healthy years to your life. Let me ask you a simple but powerful question. What are the top 3 fears most seniors in America share? From the thousands of patients I've spoken with, the answers come up again and again. Losing independence, declining memory, becoming a burden to loved ones. And here's the connection. What we eat every single day can either move us closer to those fears or further away from them. Problem number 1. The silent threat to the heart. I once had a patient, George, a 74-year-old retired mechanic from Ohio. He came into my office worried about constant fatigue. After some tests, it turned out his arteries were beginning to stiffen, a classic sign of cardiovascular disease. Now, George wasn't overweight. He didn't smoke. But like many Americans, his diet was loaded with processed snacks and not enough fresh produce. So what's the suspense here? If George ignored those early warning signs, he was on track for either a heart attack or a stroke within a few years. But here's where the solution comes in. By making small shifts, replacing his daily bag of chips with half an avocado on whole grain toast, he began lowering his LDL cholesterol, reducing inflammation, and giving his body the healthy fats it needed. Within 6 months, his numbers improved so much his cardiologist smiled and said, "George, you've turned the ship around. That's the power of food as medicine." And yes, avocados played a big role. Problem number 2, memory slipping away. Now, let's talk about another silent fear: losing our memory. I remember Linda, a 69-year-old grandmother from Texas, who came to me saying, "Doc, I keep forgetting where I put my keys, but the worst part, sometimes I forget if I took my medication." That shook her. And if you've ever had a moment like that, you know the sinking feeling it brings. Science shows us that as we age, our brains face oxidative stress, kind of like rust, slowly wearing down the sharpness of our memory. But here's the good news. Nutrients in avocados, especially vitamin E and those carotenoids like lutein, act like a protective coating against that rust. For Linda, we added more nutrient-rich foods into her diet. Yes, including avocado, and combined that with daily walks. 3 months later, she came back, smiling, saying her focus had improved and her foggy mornings were happening less often. Was it the avocado alone? No, but it was part of the bigger picture that gave her brain the nourishment it desperately needed. Problem number 3, brittle bones and achy joints. Another common issue I see is joint pain and weak bones. Seniors often come in with arthritis complaints or worse, fractures from simple falls. Now here's the question I love to ask. What if you could eat something that doesn't just keep your bones strong, but also helps your joints stay flexible? Avocados contain not only vitamin K, which supports calcium absorption, but also compounds like phytosterols and monounsaturated fats that reduce joint inflammation. I had a patient named Harold, 80 years old, who used to joke that his knees creaked louder than his front porch steps. After gradually shifting his diet to include avocado in salads and smoothies, alongside physical therapy, he reported that his stiffness wasn't as severe in the mornings, No, it wasn't a miracle cure, but it was another piece of the puzzle in helping Harold regain mobility and enjoy his daily walks with his dog again. Problem number 4, digestive troubles. And then there's the topic nobody likes to talk about, digestive problems. Constipation, bloating, irregularity. It's one of the most common issues in seniors. This is where the fiber in avocados becomes a game changer. Unlike harsh laxatives, fiber works gently, supporting regularity while also feeding good gut bacteria. For seniors struggling with both digestion and appetite, half an avocado can be the difference between discomfort and relief. The bigger picture. So let's connect the dots. Heart disease, memory loss, brittle bones, digestive problems, these are some of the heaviest burdens seniors carry. And while no single food is a magic bullet, the nutrients in avocados target each of these areas in meaningful, science-backed ways. The question then becomes, if a simple fruit could lower your risk for some of life's greatest health fears, why wouldn't you make it part of your daily routine? Now, after hearing all these benefits, you might be thinking, all right, Dr. Morrison, I'm sold, but how much avocado should I really eat? And is there such a thing as too much? That's a smart question, because the truth is, balance matters more than anything. For most seniors, the sweet spot is half an avocado per day. Why half? Because one whole avocado contains about 250 calories and 20 grams of fat. Even though it's the good kind of fat, too much of it can add extra pounds if we're not mindful. And here's something most people don't realize. Extra weight in our 60s, 70s, or 80s doesn't just affect appearance. It puts more strain on the knees, hips, and back. It increases the risk of diabetes. It even affects sleep quality. So the solution isn't to cut avocados out. It's to enjoy them in moderation, where they become medicine instead of mischief. Now, when should you eat avocado for the biggest benefit? Morning. Adding avocado to breakfast helps stabilize blood sugar. If you usually crash around 10 a.m. after a sugary breakfast, try switching to whole grain toast with sliced avocado. Many of my patients say their energy lasts longer into the morning. Lunch. Avocado at midday helps with digestion and prevents the afternoon slump. A simple salad topped with avocado cubes keeps energy steady without that heavy feeling. Dinner. Here's where caution comes in. Eating large amounts of avocado late at night can be too calorie-dense for seniors who are less active in the evenings. If you want it for dinner, keep it light, like a spoonful mixed into soup. So if you ask me when it's best, morning or lunch wins for most seniors. Now let's get practical, because telling you to eat more avocado isn't helpful unless I show you how to fit it into your daily life. Avocado toast upgrade. Instead of plain toast, choose whole grain or seeded bread. Spread avocado and add a sprinkle of flaxseed. That's heart-healthy fiber plus healthy fats. Smoothie creamer. Add a quarter avocado to your morning smoothie. It makes it creamy without needing dairy cream, which many seniors find hard to digest. Egg pairing. Half an avocado with a boiled or scrambled egg gives you protein and fat together, keeping you full longer. Soup thickener. Puree avocado into vegetable soup. It adds a smooth, comforting texture while boosting nutrition. Simple spoon snack. Sometimes the easiest way is best. Slice an avocado in half, sprinkle a pinch of salt and pepper, and enjoy it with a spoon. Now here's a warning most people overlook. Some of my patients thought, if half an avocado is healthy, then 2 or 3 must be even better. But here's the suspenseful twist. Overdoing avocados can backfire. Too much avocado can add excess calories and lead to weight gain, cause digestive upset in some seniors, gas, bloating, or diarrhea. Interfere with certain medications, especially blood thinners, because of the vitamin K content. I once had a patient, Nancy, 71 years old, who was on warfarin after a heart procedure. She had started eating a whole avocado daily. Her blood tests came back with fluctuating results because vitamin K can affect clotting stability. When we scaled her back to half an avocado every other day, her levels normalized. That is why it is so important to check with your doctor if you be on prescription medications. Food is powerful, and power needs to be respected. Here's a fun fact. Certain nutrients in avocados actually help your body absorb more from other foods. Pair avocado with carrots or spinach. Boosts absorption of vitamin A. Pair avocado with tomatoes. Enhances lycopene absorption, which protects the heart. Pair avocado with salmon. Combines omega-3s with monounsaturated fats. A double win for the brain. So don't just eat avocado alone. Make it a team player on your plate. So here's the golden rule. Half an avocado per day, preferably in the morning or at lunch. Pair it with colorful veggies or lean protein. Respect your medications. Ask your doctor if you're unsure. And above all, remember, food is not just fuel, it's a form of therapy. Now that we've uncovered the secrets of avocados, their power, their risks, and how to use them wisely, let's step back and see the bigger picture. Because the truth is, one single food doesn't create longevity. It's the daily habits we weave together that determine whether we stay strong, independent, and vibrant, or whether aging sneaks up and steals those things away from us. I like to tell my patients that longevity rests on a three-legged stool. Food is one leg. Avocados, leafy greens, salmon, berries, all the nutrient-rich foods we've talked about are the fuel. Movement is the second leg. Without it, the best diet in the world won't stop muscle loss, balance issues, or joint stiffness. Even a daily 15-minute walk or chair yoga session makes a difference. Mindset is the third leg, and often the most overlooked. Stress, loneliness, and hopelessness can eat away at health faster than any junk food. That's why staying socially connected through family, friends, church, or community groups is medicine just as much as any fruit or vegetable. If one leg of that stool is missing, the whole thing wobbles. But if all three are strong, you've got stability. Let me give you a simple sample routine that blends avocados into an overall longevity plan. Morning. Half an avocado on whole grain toast with an egg. Light stretching or a short walk. Midday. Salad with mixed greens, avocado, beans, and a light vinaigrette. A phone call with a friend or time with grandkids, because connection is nutrition too. Evening. A light dinner, maybe vegetable soup with a spoonful of avocado blended in. 5 minutes of gratitude journaling, writing down what went well today. Notice how avocado is just a supporting player. It's powerful, but it works best when it's part of a larger playbook. Now let me tell you about Henry, a 75-year-old from Colorado. Henry came to me after a minor fall. Nothing was broken, but he was shaken. He told me, "Doc, I don't want to end up in a nursing home. I want to keep hiking with my grandchildren." We started with small steps, literally, a daily 20-minute walk, replacing sugary snacks with avocado toast, adding strength-building chair exercises twice a week. 3 months later, Henry walked into my office with a smile. "Doc, I've lost 12 pounds. My knees don't ache as much. And last weekend, I hiked 2 miles with my grandson." That's the power of combining food, movement, and mindset. Avocados weren't the only change, but they became part of his foundation for resilience. So here's what I tell every senior who asks me how to live longer, stronger, and happier. Balance, don't obsess. Don't chase superfoods in isolation. Instead, build variety. Colorful fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and yes, healthy fats like avocado. Stay active daily. Even 10-15 minutes of gentle movement can keep muscles alive. Remember, motion is lotion for your joints. Protect your independence. Food choices today shape whether you'll still be driving, walking, and enjoying vacations in 10 years. Ask, don't assume. Before adding avocados or any food in large amounts, check with your doctor if you're on medication. That conversation can prevent dangerous interactions. Eat with joy. Don't turn meals into medical checklists. Share avocado toast with your spouse. Make guacamole for your grandkids. When food is shared, it nourishes both body and soul. One of the most beautiful things about avocados is that they're popular across generations. Your teenage granddaughter might love avocado sushi rolls. Your daughter might make avocado smoothies. And maybe you stick to classic guacamole. But when 3 generations can sit at one table enjoying the same food, that's not just nutrition, that's longevity of family bonds. Let me leave you with one more reminder. Avocados are powerful, but they are not a magic pill. I've seen seniors put too much hope into one single food or supplement, thinking it will erase decades of unhealthy habits. The real magic comes from consistent, balanced choices made every single day. Because in the end, it's not about adding years to your life. It's about adding life to your years. If you've stayed with me this far, it means you care deeply about your health, your independence, and your future. And that makes me hopeful, because awareness is the first step toward transformation. So, let me leave you with this thought. Every bite you take is a vote. A vote for more energy, more mobility, more years with your grandchildren, or a vote for fatigue, illness, and dependence. When you add avocados into a balanced lifestyle, you're not just eating a fruit, you're casting a vote for stronger bones, a sharper mind, and a longer, more independent life. But remember, no single food, not even the avocado, can do the job alone. It's the combination of healthy eating, daily movement, and positive connections that keep seniors thriving. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Have you added avocados into your meals? How do you use them? Toast, smoothies, guacamole? Drop your experiences in the comments below. I read every single one. And if you found this video valuable, don't forget to like this video to support our channel. Subscribe to Senior Health Tips so you never miss practical advice designed for USA seniors. Share this video with your family members so they can join you in making healthier choices. Because the best health journeys are the ones we don't walk alone. And finally, remember this. Aging is not about slowing down. It's about unlocking your next chapter, one healthy choice at a time. This is Dr. Morrison, wishing you strength, joy, and longevity. I'll see you in the next video.